Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, I found a new 12-step daily reader that's been in my bookcase the whole time. I'm embarrassed to say, and I didn't realize it was a daily reader. So that goes to show when the last time is that I opened it. But here we go. It's called Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, and it looks like it's the second edition. But here we go. This is the one that I read that spoke to my heart. So here we are on page 2, January 2nd. And I'm going to read it to you. Turning to an alcoholic for affection and support can be like going to a hardware store for bread. Perhaps we expect a good parent to nurture and support our feelings, or a loving spouse to comfort and hold us when we are afraid, or a caring child to want to pitch in when we are ill or overwhelmed. While these loved ones may not meet our expectations, it is our expectations, not our loved ones, that have let us down. Love is expressed in many ways, and those affected by alcoholism may not be able to express it the way we would like. But we can try to recognize love whenever and however it is offered. When it is not, we don't have to feel deprived. Most of us find an unfailing source of love in Al-Anon. With the encouragement and support of others, we learn to treat our needs as important and appropriate, and to treat ourselves as deserving. Today's reminder. Today, the alcoholic may or may not be able to give us what we desire, and no one person will ever offer all that we require. If we stop insisting that our needs be met according to our will, we may discover that all the love and support we need is already at our fingertips. In Al-Anon, I discover in myself the power to throw new light on a seemingly hopeless situation. I learn I must use this power not to change the alcoholic over whom I am powerless, but to overcome my own distorted ideas and attitudes. One day at a time in Al-Anon. Okay, so I want to speak to the person who this message is very hard to hear because you're in a lot of pain right now with something in your life that is just so hard that you want it to change, that you need it to change. Because if you're past something, you can read this and be like, oh yeah, totally, that makes sense. But when you're in it, you're like, no, this is wrong. This is so wrong. This person's not treating me right. And I remember speaking to someone, like a coach who was offering to help me about this person in my life, this specific relationship. And she was like, maybe, like, what if he really was loving you the very best he could? Like, what if this really was the best he could do? And I remember saying very rudely, I was like, well, if it is, it's not good enough. And I was so emphatic about it. And in one way, I can understand that so well. Well, it was me, first of all, but like, I know that feeling of like, their behavior is not good enough. Like, I deserve more, and this is not okay. And it's like, yeah, that is true. But at the same time, I am turning into the bad guy when I demand that someone give me what they don't have to give, because they can't do it. And it's just one of those things where it kind of blows that cognitive distortion of like everything has to be fair out of the water. It's like, while it's true that you deserve to be loved and treated well, you starting to treat someone unfairly and unwell because they're not treating you well does not make your behavior okay. And so me thinking horrible thoughts about this person because they're so bad at loving me, then there's just two of us bad guys, and it's such a tender spot. It's such a tender spot to identify an area or a relationship where and to call it out, to call it what it is and say, like, this is not okay. And that's so huge to be able to even say that for a lot of us. And it's such a tender spot. But then where we go with that is also very important for our own sanity and our own spiritual life, where we go with it. And it's not going to be good enough. Like that person's ability to give of themselves, we have to let it go. We have to drop the rope. We have to release our grip, because we will lose ourselves the more we try to force them to be something that they're not, the more we try to squeeze out of them something that does not exist within them. And we will become very sick ourselves. So if this is you, I love you so much. You are in pain, and that's appropriate. It's a painful space to be in. But know that you are not alone, and that you are very loved, and you have a higher power who sees your pain, who knows your pain, and wants to meet you there in it. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.